quick wet fly to tie up for you today. This is called the Belle. At least that's what I think it's called. As you can see in the title, it is written as La Belle or La Bella. I'm not certain which. And the reason is that if you look at like the spelling for the Parmesan Belle, it also is spelled with an E on the end of it. So this is either La Bella or the Belle, La Belle. If anybody has any information on that, I would be interested. But I like it. It's a very pretty fly with the blue and the white and the red. It's kind of a spring-looking fly, but it is very quick to tie. Once you start tying a few of these and you get the procedure down, it takes you almost less than 5 minutes to tie this fly. So that is the Belle, and I'll go ahead and get started. Start the Belle by placing my hook in the vise. This is a Mustad 3399 in a size 8. Go ahead and debarb the hook. I'm going to start by using a white thread. The body on the Belle is a light blue floss, so I don't want to darken that up by starting or having a dark thread base underneath. I'm going to attach this about an eye length behind the eye of the hook, just secure that in, and then don't advance down the hook shank. The tail on the Belle is just a red wool. This is just a 3-strand kind of generic red wool, and I'm actually only going to use 1 strand, but rather than come to the end of the shank here and tie that in and then try to wrap that down, working my way up, I'm just going to tie this in now as I then work my way down the shank, and then I can just trim it the length that I want. I don't have to worry about getting nice touching turns because the floss will also bind that in to make a nice smooth body. I'm going to get down to about the barb of the hook, and then I'm going to trim this so this is about the length of the whole body. And that is our tail. The rib is a silver tinsel. I'm using a Danville Mylar tinsel in a size 16 and 18. So we'll tie that with the gold side up. I'm going to bring that around all the way underneath the hook on the bottom side, pulling the tag end here so that it is inside the body. 1 wrap just to secure it. And then the body on this is a Danville light blue. I'm using a Danville 4-strand rayon in a light blue. I'll attach that, bring that under the thread and attach that to my side of the hook, and then advance my thread forward. Now I want to take a little care to put in some touching turns. You can flatten the thread if you want, but I just want to make certain that I have more or less even touching turns because I don't want any huge gaps that would translate up through the floss. Stop with my thread about an eye length behind the eye of the hook. That's where I'll tie in the material. Now I'll just wrap the floss body in and then the rib. change over to my black thread. This is a Danville 6/0 in black. That's what I'll finish the fly out with. Two more things left to tie in. The throat is a blue Hackle. You could certainly use like a Schlappen in, say, a Kingfisher blue or something like that. I've got this little patch of nice hen hackles that is a nice blue color. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. And I'm just going to strip away the fluff. Let me get a better feather. I'll strip away the fluff off of those, and then I'll peel some of the fibers from both sides just to make enough for a throat. I'll bring that up underneath the hook. I want the tips to be about the length of the barb. If they go back a little bit further, it's not the end of the world. Pinch that, bring the wrap up, a few wraps to secure it, and the throat is tied in. I shall wrap down to secure those butt ends and then create a nice level platform for the wing. And the wing on the Belle is just very simple. It's a white duck quill, like this. I'm going to go ahead and cut a slip from both sides here, and I'm going to match those up. And I want the concave sides facing each other so that the wing actually flares out. So I want the wing to look something like this. I'll get the tips even so that they are the same length. I want to measure those. I want the tips to come down about halfway down the tail, or if you would rather, even just a little bit further, almost the full length of the tail. Another thing that I'm going to do is a lot of times with the wet flies, when you tie in the wing tends to kind of shoot up at about a 45-degree angle or so. And that's pinching all that material together right here does that. Well, with the duck, at least you can almost pre-bend this. So if I have my duck ready to tie in like this, where my tie-in spot is, I can just kind of pre-bend those fibers a little bit. So now when I go to tie this in, it's already kind of bent down a little bit. And it just makes it for a little bit easier. The wing just ties in a little nicer. Couple wraps, 3 or 4 to secure it, and then we can see how the wing looks. That looks pretty good. You can trim away the excess. And then coming down to the eye of the hook, I'll wrap it backwards to cover up the butt ends, secure all that down, shape the head, and then I'm ready for a whip finish. Spin my bobbin counterclockwise, and then I will use my whip finish tool to help flatten out the thread. Put about 7 or 8 turn whip finish in there. It smooths that off. Trim away my thread. A little bit of head cement on the sides. And then I will come back and put some black lacquer on that. And there you have it. That's the Belle, La Belle, La Bella. Not certain exactly on the pronunciation, as I mentioned. If anybody has any words of wisdom about that, I'd be interested. But it's an interesting fly. I like the colors on this. The duck wing is always interesting to work with. Nice spring fly. So that's the Belle. Hope you enjoyed that.
Thanks for joining me at Devise today. I hope you learned at least a new pattern, if not a new technique, maybe a tip or trick here and there. If you have any questions about this fly or any of the techniques used in constructing this pattern, please leave them in the comments section down below. If you go to the trouble to ask a question, I'll go to the trouble to answer it. If you'd like to help dressed irons, please share this video with your friends and anybody you think that might enjoy this pattern. Until next time, remember, it's fly tying. If you're not having fun, then you're doing it wrong.